I'm Dermot Hussey. Welcome to the YouTube channel for the podcast Riffin Radio. In our studios this evening is a very important South African musician, McCoy Mrubata. He's a saxophonist, he plays the flute, he's also a composer and band leader. He's recorded 13 solo albums, several collaborations, and he's also won the South African Jazz Award for Best Album category. He has toured the US and Europe, and in 2018 he won the Kennedy Center Gold Medal. He toured Lucky Dube. He toured with Lucky Dube rather for 2 years, and I spoke to him about the great South African reggae artist. McCoy, so nice to see you, my brother.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise, sir. Yes.
Before Lucky Dube began singing reggae, what was his early music?
His early music was called Mpakanga, a very popular, South African music to this day, Mpakanga, and it's a kind of a mixture of African soul and Zulu traditional music. It's that's where it comes from. On the eastern side of South Africa, Zululand, the way it comes from. That's where the music was born. Mpakanga. That's what he sang before he sang reggae.
So that music is very popular in South Africa then?
Yes, still popular. Yes. Yeah. One of the kings of Mpakanga who are good with that is a band called the Soul Brothers, and they were formed in the 60s. They still exist. Yeah, it's still a great music. I myself incorporate it into my jazz, now and then. There's Mpakanga, selections in my music as well.
When he began singing reggae, the South African government banned his music. But what about South Africans in general? How did they respond to that style of reggae, which was anti-apartheid?
They responded positively because Lucky and many of us were inspired by the great Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, many, Burning Spear, that was revolutionary music, amongst Fela Kuti and, everything that sang that had a social, impact, singing, we supported it, So Lucky mostly was influenced by Peter Tosh, and it was sad for us when they banned Lucky's music, but he still performed anyway, because what happens back in the day, when you perform on stage, you change your lyrics at the spur of the moment, Yeah, but we knew the meanings, So it was hard times, but South Africans supported Lucky. Artists like Lucky who were conscious and trying to drive, social justice.
How did that music impact on you personally as a musician?
Positively, it ignited fire in me, and I did my little part, back in the 70s, playing in political rallies, So it really gave us a sense of belonging and a fighting spirit. So yeah, we borrowed also a lot of stuff from reggae music, so did Lucky a lot. Yeah, it's, to this day, it means a lot to us, you know. Not so long ago, Jamaica lost the great Bunny Wailer, you know. Yeah, we've been talking about it, you know, because it meant a lot to us too. You know? Yeah, so.
When did you start working with Lucky?
Started working with Lucky in 1994 when he called me for a recording session. We kind of clicked, you know. He asked me to join his band, you know, and I wasn't really ready. I was, busy with my own projects. But in 1995, I finally joined, late 94 actually, I finally joined him, you know, and we taught the whole world, you know, what an experience.
What was it like to work with him?
It was great, a very warm person and hardworking, you know. We still rehearse every single day, even if there were no gigs. We knew the music, but he was a disciplinarian. And Lucky was very busy, you know. I would have continued with him, but it was a bit too much for him because I had my own career, you know. But I respected the brother, he respected me, you know. He had respect for his musicians, you know. And it was great working with. I learned a lot from him, professionalism, you know. Yeah.
One of the things that's very remarkable for me about him was that he learned English later on in his life and was sufficiently competent in that language to be able to sing all that music, because he spoke South African dialects, you know, but he also had to learn English.
That's right. Yeah, well, many of us improved on English much later in our lives because of the medium of learning, you know. Education was indigenous languages and some English here and there. So there are some words that I remember that I learned in the 70s, you know, after I left school. So yeah, many of us, you were like that. So and he became, very good in English, and I loved his accent, you know.
The time of 94, 95 and 96 when you were touring, are there any special moments that come back to you that you can never forget? Because I know he was really hitting a kind of level with European audiences that was remarkable.
There were many special moments, you know. I remember in New Orleans, you know, big reggae festival. When we were performing, it was raining hard, but people were there, you know. They let Lucky finish, you know. When we were done, Third World was still going to perform, and who else? 3 big, Jamaican artists were still had to perform after Lucky, you know. But when Lucky was done with his gig, the audience was like, "No, we're good." Yeah, so and then I remember going back to the hotel. No, actually, it was actually in Germany. It was in Europe. It was in Germany when that happened, that incident. And we're sharing, the hotel with all the big artists, our heroes, you know, Third World, and who else? Big something, you know. Yeah. Anyway, at the hotel, it was sour grapes, you know. They were not pleased with the way Lucky kind of stole the whole festival. Yeah. But yeah.
In fact, that leads me to the question of Jamaicans used to get very upset when Lucky said that reggae came from Africa. What did he really mean by that?
I wish I knew, yeah, because I only joined Lucky when his horn section left him. You know, half the band members formed their own band, and I don't really know, you know, what he meant. But I suppose it's the narrative that music in general comes from the motherland, you know, Africa, you know. Other than that, I have no idea, you know. Yeah, we we were, like I said earlier, we're influenced by, you know, the great Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Bunny Wheeler, you know. Saying that he started in Africa, I'd rather not comment, you know, and just, you know, maybe, you know, that's what he meant, you know. The sound, music, in general. Yeah.
Is his music still very popular in South Africa today?
It still is. It's still very popular. Yeah, there are many tributes to Lucky Dube, and I see on Facebook there are a couple of groups. You know, I always like them. You know, it's still very popular, and I see also his daughter. You know, is taking up music. She's quite busy. Nkuli Dube.
As someone who adopted reggae as like a second music, it wasn't his original music, and became so powerful as one of the biggest reggae artists, how do you see that?
According to his cousin, Richard Silume, it's Richard who introduced Lucky to reggae music. Richard Silume is Lucky's cousin, who was his manager and producer, you know, but by the time Lucky passed away, they had, drifted apart. So, you know, as far as I know, it's him who introduced Lucky to reggae music and got him to, sing reggae and introduced him to Peter Tosh's music. Yeah, that's according to Richard Silume.
What about your music? Does reggae play an impact on it?
Not really. I haven't incorporated reggae in my music. Yeah, no, I haven't. It's mostly African, South African, and some American elements when it comes to chord changes, you know, and patterns like that. I haven't incorporated reggae in my music.
Maybe one of these days soon.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, one of these days. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, my brother. Nice to see you and hope to see you again.
Thank you, sir. Likewise. Yeah, great.
Take care.
Thank you.